Picture this, you're texting someone, right? You're bantering, flirting, text messaging, and you even got a date set up. Everything's perfect. And then they stop replying. And as the seconds turn to minutes, minutes turn to hours, you start to get worried. You start to ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Is this all just a game? Why? And then they reply. And right as they reply, right when you see the notification, you feel a rush of relief flowing through your veins into your brain and heart. And after all of that's over, you look down at the time, exhausted, and you realize it's only been 2 hours. Anxiety, fear, racing thoughts, you experienced all of these and so much more in just 2 hours. And this, my friend, is the definition of anxious attachment. To be anxiously attached means to be hypersensitive towards any sign of deterioration in a relationship. It means to overanalyze everything and giving the same consideration to the small things such as them pulling back as you do to the big things such as obvious red flags. And this is because of an emotional dependence you formed, a fear of losing what you have, no matter how irrational it may be and how subconscious or conscious it may be. And if you're still watching, then you probably relate to this, or you just like the side of my face and sound of my voice. I don't know, maybe both. But regardless, I'm gonna give you tips so you can escape this hell, no matter if you're in it right now or you find yourself in it in the future. Like that, whenever it is you have to use them, you can use them, and you can get out of this hell. And never, and I mean never, have to look back. Because trust me when I tell you that after 4 years of pain, self-sabotage, growth, and reflection, I'm confident in my ability to help you out, at least a little. Now, the first step for overcoming something and becoming something else is, of course, knowing exactly what it is that you're trying to become. You know what you are, or at least where you are right now, and you know that you don't want to be here. That's great. That is really great. But what exactly is it that you want to be? What's the end goal of all of this? Secure attachment. That's what. Secure attachment is what you want. That's the end goal of all of this. But what exactly is it? To be securely attached means to be emotionally expressive and available without being dependent on the other person to fulfill your emotional needs. It's the ability to be consistently present and communicate with your partner, being able to talk about your problems and communicate effectively without becoming clingy, either externally or internally. It means you don't overtext and worry about every single little thing, always trying to be close to them. And it also means you don't overthink and overanalyze every little thing. And when you're able to tell yourself confidently and honestly that you do, or at least lean towards doing these things more than not, that's when you can honestly tell yourself that you have or are leaning towards a secure attachment style. And now let's talk about the actual process towards security. To outgrow your anxious tendencies, you need to know what exactly makes them flare up. Is it silence, ambiguity, short text, a mixture of these, or maybe something else completely different? It's different for everyone. It is. However, it should be easy enough to find yours. What you need to do is next time you feel that fear, that overwhelming fear, you need to stop, take it in, and name it. Give it a name, give it a feeling, and see exactly what it is. For example, for me, it's silence and slow responses. I realized that when it gets silent or she stops responding or starts responding more slowly, I start to overthink. And I start fearing the worst subconsciously. I don't even try to. I just start fearing the worst and thinking that the worst is going to happen simply because she stopped responding for an hour. All right, awesome. Now we know what it is. So next step. And now the next step is to rationalize it. Name what it is you're feeling and why it is that you're feeling it. Here's my example. I'm feeling anxiety and fear because she hasn't responded in 2 hours. That's it. It's simple. And after that, just keep going through the experience like normal, keeping all of this in mind. I know, it's anticlimactic, like really? Just feel it? That's all you're gonna tell me? Yeah, it is, and here's why. When you name it, when you give this fear, this anxiety a name, you're able to fully and truly rationalize it. You're no longer just feeling it blindly, but you're feeling it while knowing what it is and developing strategies to counter it. So in simpler terms, you're going through the same situation. However, instead of walking in blindly without direction, you now have a guide to know exactly what it is you're going through, which minimizes the situation and the impact of the situation, as well as a guide to actually combat it and get rid of it sooner. You now know what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, so even in the depths of it, while going through the worst of it, you're still able to see the absurdity of all of it, the irrationality and complete ridiculousness of all of it. And I don't know if it's just me, but that gives me a sense of comfort, and it makes it a little easier to get through it. And I hope it'll help you too. And trust me when I tell you that when you do this over and over again, just giving it repetitions, putting in the reps, it gets easier. It gets easier to fully and actually do this, since I know that in the beginning it's a little hard to do all of this. But just keep trying, and I promise it'll get easier. So that's it for your first tip. On to the second. Now, building awareness of your fears and accepting them is all well and good. However, we can do better. We can do a lot better. You need to increase your self-worth, because this will increase the internal validation that you give yourself honestly. And that will in turn lower your fears and anxiety, thanks to the fact that you have more going on in your life, so you have less time to worry. And you'll be able to see just how small the problems in your life really are compared to everything else. So in other words, it's a self-reinforcing loop, and starting it, it's actually pretty easy. In order to increase your self-worth, you need to increase your value. Your value not only for yourself, but also in the eyes of other people in the world around you, since if other people value you more, then obviously you're going to value yourself more as well. And the only way to do this, especially when it comes to other people, is work. So the more you accomplish, the more value you have. But you can't just accomplish random things. It has to be things that are meaningful, and it has to be in a balance. A balance for other people, doing things that are meaningful to them and to you. Since you can't just do one or the other. If you do it all for yourself, then you're not gonna have value for other people. If you do it just for other people, you're going to hate yourself. And exactly how much of each you do depends on your current life circumstances. You're going to have times in your life where you do more work for other people, and times in your life where you do less work for them and more for yourself. For example, right now with these videos, I'm literally just doing it for myself. And when I get in college, I'm gonna be doing a lot more for other people. So it literally just depends on your life circumstances and what you're able to do with the resources you have. As a personal example, delving a little deeper into what I've been doing, I've been really focusing on relationships, understanding toxic traits so I don't repeat my mistake, understanding attachment styles so I know what to look for in other people, what to avoid, and how to better myself and become more secure. And of course, making these videos and traveling. All of these, most of these, are internal for me. And of course, some of them are external, like relationships. I'm gonna be with a partner eventually, so it's helping them. But for the most part, it's internal. And once again, in college, all of this is gonna change. But none of this matters, because you have to create your own values. Know what's meaningful to you, and when you're able to work on that, when you're able to have time for yourself to truly do what matters to you, that's when you do it. Take full advantage of it, because it's not always going to be there. And when you're not, just do what you have to do. Do what you have to do for other people, and enjoy it the best that you can. And just remember that you're still growing and you're still accomplishing, even if it doesn't feel like it. By doing all of this consistently, not perfectly, but just consistently, you'll improve your self-worth tremendously. Trust me. There are so many more things and more tips that I could give you for getting a secure attachment style. However, they're minor, and compared to these big two that I'm about to go over one more time, they don't really matter. So just remember, you need to name, internalize, and fully accept the fear and anxiety you feel whenever you're going through situations that trigger your attachment. And of course, you need to improve your self-worth by working. Work on something meaningful to you, or something that's meaningful to other people, depending on what stage of life you're in and your life circumstances, since that's going to directly help with number one. By simply doing both of these and getting good at them, you're doing a majority of the work and getting most of the rewards. And the rest, the remaining 10 or 20%, they'll fall into place, either naturally as you do these, or when you finish with these and start actually working on them specifically. It's like a game. You need to complete the basic levels before you move on to the harder, more specific levels. Anxiety, fear, overthinking, and overanalysis, they're as inevitable as our needs for water and food. Well, that is if you let them be. It's your choice, my friend. I'm still in the fog myself. Walking, crawling, tripping, walking backwards. But I'm still moving, getting up each time and never giving up. It's your choice to decide if you're also going to embark on this journey, or if you're just gonna stay at the house, never going into the fog, or maybe dipping your toes in it, but always running back. I can't decide for you. Of course I can't. I'll give you all the information. Now it's your choice to decide just what exactly you are or aren't going to do with it. So make of all of that what you will. Stay safe, stay strong, and hopefully see you next time, brother or sister. Peace.